Welcome guys, this is KOK Party Favors. Today I'm going to be assembling a Gable shaker box, and I have everything already pre-cut in Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to move some of my elements to the side, and I am going to start creating the first portion of this assembly. So this is the first part that you assemble, okay? And they're score lines. I don't know if you can see them, but they're score lines, and you just fold them along the score lines. Okay, and I've been working a couple of days to perfect this design to get it to where I felt comfortable putting it in my Etsy shop. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take these two panels here and we're going to adhere them. So I'm going to get my aqua liquid glue, and I am going to put some glue on each tab. And I don't want to use my glue gun because, you know, the glue can get kind of bulky and create little lumps and humps here and there. So I don't want that for this. So I'm going to have to use this liquid glue whether I like it or not. And I don't like it. Okay, so we're going to do that to the other side. And we're going to sit it down and make sure our tabs are down. And you want to make sure that when you glue it, that your tab is close to the bottom as possible. Okay, that would allow this little tab to fold over a little bit easier. Okay, all right, so we have that done. Now what we want to do is place our background, this holographic silver layer cuts by itself, and then I did a print and cut on the two little Hawaiian dancers, and I did it 2-layer and used my square foam squares to adhere them to the backing. Okay, so I'm going to just put some glue here and there. And this is going to be what you see on the inside of the shaker box. Okay, I have one that came apart here. Let's see if we can get this one glued back. Okay, so we'll give that time to set. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is decide what you want to put inside. Now I have an option between these foam balls and these sequins, and I think because I'm using this pink and the Hawaiian dancers have a lot of color in their headbands and flowers on their grass skirt, I'm going to use these foam balls. Okay, one thing I want to add is the layer for the acetate. Before you use it, I want you to take a dryer sheet, any type of dryer sheet, and lightly rub across the acetate layer. Turn it over, lightly rub. You don't want to put too much pressure because you don't want to scratch it. You don't want to scratch your acetate layer. Okay, that's going to prevent your foam balls from sticking to the acetate layer. You want the background to show as best as possible. Okay, because sometimes those foam balls will stick to the front and you can barely see what's inside, and those balls will not move So that's a good way to keep your acetate window clear. So what I'm going to do is just put some foam balls in here, and I'm going to just estimate a little bit here and add a little more. You want to be able to see the Hawaiian dancers. You don't want to have so many that, you know, your theme is being covered up by the foam ball. So I'm going to let that do. Now what I'm going to do is, I think instead of using that glue, I think I'd rather use my foam. I think I'm going to use these instead. These are my foam strips, and they are come off like this. So what we're going to do, we're going to build up, we're going to put these foam strips on all 4 sides of these tabs. And this is going to help keep our foam balls right in the little window. Okay. Because I noticed that when I just use the glue, go around all 4 sides, sometimes the sequins and the little balls will go up under that layer and they will be lodged up here in this area. So when you put your foam balls or sequins in this window, you want them to stay there. Okay, so I'm going to put another strip here. Okay, and I probably should have done this before I put the balls in, but that's okay. If some of them fly out, it'll be okay. All right, let's keep going around here. We have this side here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of meet these squares with one another, because I want to make sure I have a good seal so that these little foam balls won't try to escape. Okay. Okay, so just make sure that you have a little strip secure as possible. And I always use tweezers to get the backing off of these foam strips. So I'm going to hold my box down while I'm removing this backing. Try to keep everything from splattering up and out the window. But remember, guys, do this part before you put your foam balls or your sequins in, because now I have to be extra careful getting the strip off. Okay, so I think what I want to do is add another strip just to the top and the bottom. I might go ahead and just put it on all 4 sides. It won't hurt anything. Okay. Now we're going to do just one more here on those sides, and that's going to be it for our foam. We're going to be ready to put our acetate layer on top. I think I will have enough security here for my foam balls. Okay. So now I'm going to hold that again and get all my backing off of my foam strips. Sometimes I forget, guys, and I have to make sure I'm in view of the camera, because sometimes I'll be so into a project, I'll slide off to the side and not be in complete camera range. So forgive me if that ever happens, but I try to be aware of that when I'm working. Okay. So now our next part is to put our acetate layer on, and we're just going to make sure that it's centered and that the acetate covers every tab, completely covers every tab. Okay, I made it large so where it can cover each tab completely. And I'm making sure that my corners have foam so that we won't have any balls to escape from there. Now what I'm going to do is trim. I always like to leave a little extra so that when you put your acetate layer on, it doesn't have to be precise. You can get it lined up and then go back and just trim off that little excess, okay? Let me get this out the way. Okay, so now we have our acetate layer ready. Okay, we have our little Hawaiian girls in there and everything's looking good. So now what we want to do is the box is going to be in two pieces, this and this. There's a tab here with a score line that you fold. There's a tab here with a score line that you fold. Okay, so what you want to do is always make sure your top tabs are at the top, because I have seen people mistakenly glue it this way. Okay, so that's the wrong way, because you want to make sure that all your tabs are at the top. Okay, so we have all of our tabs at the top. And what I'm going to do is, you want to make sure that when you tape it shut, that this is the way it's going to look on the outside. You don't want to tape it where your tab is on the outside. I mean, you could, but I prefer to have the tab on the inside for both tabs, so that when you look around the box, you cannot tell where it starts or ends. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is take this tab, okay, and I'm going to line it up. And you can use your score lines to help you get it lined up good. Just fold it over. That'll also help you get it lined up good. Okay. All right, so we have that side. But before we do the other side, what we want to do is get our box inside. We want to get that secured. So what I'm going to do now is take some double-sided tape, and I'm going to go around this entire window, okay? Because I'm going to be laying the shaker portion right in that area. So I'm going to go above, below. And on the sides here. All right, now I am going to pull my backing off of my double-sided tape, and I'm going to get my shaker positioned over this opening. I hope you guys are doing well and getting ready for Valentine's Day. I added a lot of crafts on my channel for Valentine's Day to give you all some good Valentine's Day craft ideas. Feel good to have it as straight as possible, okay guys? All right, I'm going to press that down. And I am going to put some double-sided tape along here, and we're going to get our little frame ready to go in front of our window. Okay, so I'm going to remove the backing off of the double-sided tape, and then we're going to get that put over our window. Okay. Okay, so we're going to smooth that down. Okay, so now all we have to do now is adhere our side here, and then we are going to take care of our bottom and get it sealed up. This is a really fun craft, guys, and it's a really good take on your traditional Gable box. They have several all over the internet and Etsy, and they are just a gorgeous, gorgeous way to add a little more interest to your Gable boxes for your party guests. And just take that and seal that. So now we have our square here. Now we're going to work on the bottom. So we're going to fold these two bottoms in, and here is the top. So what I want to do here is take a strip of double-sided tape here, and we're going to seal it. Remove that backing, and we're going to put our hand through the top And we're going to make sure that it's sealed good. All right, so put my hand in there and do that. Just make sure we have a good seal. Okay, so now we go to the top and see the contents are still, there's still room for contents inside. You can still put your candies in there, small toy, and just take the top here. But before we do that, I want to put, I think it's best to put the name on at this point. So I am going to put some double-sided tape. Put it up here. Okay. So to close it, just take these two tabs, insert it in. And I have some other little boxes, favor boxes, that I've turned into shaker boxes. I'm going to add those as well. Okay. So this is the shaker box finished. And it turned out really nice, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with all the mishaps. All right, guys, that's it for this tutorial. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.